This is Johnny Keene, head coach for the UCCS men's soccer team, and you're tuned in to the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS sports.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned in once again to the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS sports. I'm your host, MJ Arjamandi, being joined, as always, by Martin the Hothead Hines. Martin the Hothead Hines, how you doing, bud?
Damn it, I am hot. I'll tell you why. My Texas Longhorns got their butts whipped this weekend.
Yeah, what was the score of that game? Like 99-2?
It was pretty.
They got beat up. OU took advantage of them Longhorns. That's sad. That's why you're a hothead today?
I am a hothead. The Cowboys couldn't pull it out in Baltimore. All my Texas teams are losing. I am a hothead today.
That's right, Martin the Hothead Hines. And we are broadcasting live from the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, inside the Roar office here in the main campus.
It's not the Roar office anymore.
That's what it says outside, Martin.
It does?
It says the Roar office. That's what everybody refers to it.
Student life and leadership.
Wherever this building is, we are live from the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs. Martin the Hothead Hines, and I am MJ Arjamandi. And Martin, we had a busy weekend this weekend, did we not?
It was busy. There was a lot of things going on. Continued success for all the UCCS teams.
They're doing so good.
Yes.
You know, it's like I'm a proud father, and I've been here for so long. I've watched these programs grow and develop, and I'm just so proud of these kids.
Are these your babies growing up?
They are, right before my eyes, Martin.
My babies all grown up.
They're all grown. It's so lovely to see.
Yeah. Well, no,
it's exciting.
They are doing great, and we got a big show, too.
Doesn't that make our job so much easier? We were just talking about this yesterday, Martin. If our teams weren't doing nearly as well as they were doing, how excited would you be to come in every week?
Yeah, it might be a little bit harder.
A little different.
We would have to do more gimmicks, I think.
A lot more games, a lot more fun.
We would have to kind of rely on our creativity a little more. Right now, we are really enjoying the success of all the UCCS teams.
Yeah, they just write their own show. I mean, they go out, they play, and all we do is talk about how well they played, and that's the show.
And I'll tell you what, it makes it so much easier when I go and I interview the players and coaches and get sound bites.
And they know who you are?
Yeah, well, it's not fun talking to the players or the coaches, especially.
On a loss?
Yeah.
They don't want to talk to you.
Hey, Coach, talk about the beating that you took.
Yeah, they don't want anything to do with that. So when they're winning, they're a lot more likely to want to engage in that conversation with you to tell you how they won.
Yeah.
They don't want to tell you how they lost, but they want to tell you how they won. And they all are wanting to tell us how they're winning because they're all winning.
And I've been running into some of the parents because we had senior day.
Yeah, for the women's soccer match, on
and
Sunday.
So not fun. If they didn't win, it's not fun to talk to
No,
the
they wouldn't
parents.
they wouldn't want to talk to you.
Yeah, talk about the disastrous performance of your daughter out there.
Yeah. But
get away from me.
But we didn't have to do any of that because our teams are winning. Martin, if we started this show a year ago, this would have been difficult. But right now, it writes itself, man.
I'll tell you what, we were talking to the sports information director yesterday.
Jared Werner.
That's right. And we were talking about the future of UCCS.
And it's so bright. It's unbelievably bright.
We've got to wear shades.
It's so bright, I'm going blind, Martin.
Yes.
I can't see.
The future's so bright, you got to wear shades.
That's right, Martin.
Do you know that song?
I don't know that one.
Okay.
You want to sing it for me? How does it go?
I don't know, something like, the future's so bright, I got to wear shades.
I think you're making stuff up.
Okay,
I don't think this is a real song.
Google it, kids.
Ladies and gentlemen, Martin, the Hothead Hines, making up songs as we go.
Damn it.
There you go. Martin, well, we got a lot to cover today. The UCCS women's volleyball team won 2 of their 3 matches for the weekend. The UCCS cross-country team is still nationally ranked, and they are going to be holding the RMAC championship this weekend here at Monument Valley Park in Colorado Springs, so that's big time, Martin. That's pretty important.
Yes. I will tell you, we're going to have home field advantage. We're going to continue success.
And we got a runner who's undefeated.
That's right. Emilio
Trujillo.
And I got to tell you, we're going to be out there. We're going to cover that.
Yeah, Martin, you're going to go, right?
I'm going to be running with them.
You're going to run?
Not likely, but yes, I will be there.
Martin, I'd love to see that.
I will be there for that, and I will be also covering some other events this weekend.
Yeah.
So
Martin's going to be active in the athletic world this week. He's going to get you some sound bites, some clips of the action. He's going to be there live.
I will be out there pestering
all the athletes. Is that what you're going to do? You know, so if Emilio is tied with somebody, you're going to run right behind whoever he's running with and trip them or just distract them. And maybe you go in for an interview right there. Not with Emilio, but whoever he's running side by side with. You say, "Excuse me, sir, I'm with the Lions Den, and I need to interview you." But by that time, you're going to be out of breath already.
I can imagine that I would be out there trying to get a soundbite as Emilio's, like, heading down to the stretch. You know, he's heading down the stretch. And then I accidentally, like, trip him, and he loses, and then everybody hates me after that. I can imagine that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
I think I'll wait until they're...
What's the soundbite that we could get from Emilio? Would it go... Whoosh? That's all we would get because you would record it, and it'd just be him flying by. Whoosh.
Yeah, it'd be
that's all you'd get.
It would be like this. "Hey, Emilio, where are you going?"
And then he's just gone.
Yep.
I mean, that fast.
Yep.
So... yeah, you can try to do that. But Martin the Hothead Hines is going to be there at Monument Valley Park for the RMAC Championship Cross Country Invitational this weekend. That'll be great. And golf was on the road last weekend. They were playing as we were on air last week down in Amarillo, Texas.
Ooh.
You know...
Amarillo, they have Cadillacs, big steaks.
They got 72-ounce steaks, Martin, and if you eat it all, you get it free.
Yeah, like man versus food.
Yeah. I mean, I think the food is going to win because even if you eat it all, that's going to be a rough night.
Even someone my size, I don't think size really matters.
Size doesn't matter. Yeah. Size doesn't matter. I mean, don't ask girls that, but size doesn't matter. But today, we got a lot to cover. The soccer teams were in action. They lost 1 out of 4 games over the weekend, so pretty good showing there. And on the show today, we're going to have the head coach from the women's soccer team, Nicole Ridenauer, is going to join us live in the studio in just a few moments. She's going to come in and talk about the success of the team. It's a historic season for the women's soccer team right now. They still have 4 games left, Martin, and they already have the highest win total of any season in program history. And they still have 4 games left to add to that.
True, but it's 4 road games. And
it is 4 road games, but when we look at the schedule and who they're playing, I mean, they have a good chance of... they could win out.
Yeah,
they could win the last 4.
I'm sure the coach doesn't want to give the other team's bulletin board material, but you know what? The likelihood that they're listening to the show...
oh, they are. The world is listening, Martin.
That's right. The world.
We have millions and millions of listeners. Our listening Lions, I mean...
including parents.
It's unbelievable. They're everywhere.
Be careful what we say.
It's catching on. So, Nicole Ridenauer are going to join us today to talk about the women's soccer program because they have a chance to host a playoff game here at UCCS. The way that the program works, the way that the postseason works, is the top seed and the second seed both get a bye the first round, and the third and fourth seed will host the first round matchup. And then the highest seed remaining, which would be the 1 seed, since they had a bye, will host the remainder of the tournament. And so the Mountain Lions with a really good opportunity. They're tied for first right now in the RMAC. It's a 3-way tie at the moment
between Metro and Regis.
That's right. And Mines is right behind them.
1 loss behind them.
Right, and the Mountain Lions are going to close out their season, not this upcoming weekend, but the following weekend against Metro and Mines. So it's going to come down to that last weekend. It's coming down to the wire, Martin. It's going to be pretty intense.
Yes, it will.
But how exciting!
Yeah, it's going to be great. I mean, and not saying that this weekend's going to be easy, but definitely paying attention to next weekend, and that'll determine where all the seeds are for the postseason tournament and the RMAC tournament, and then depending on how the teams do, that leads into the NCAA tournament, and we're really excited about that. But I know Coach Ridenauer was commenting earlier. She said we're just focusing on 1 game at a time, and everybody's going to play us tough.
Well, it's gonna be a rough stretch. The final 4 games, but Mountain Lions have got to take care of business. And joining us in just a few moments will be head coach of the women's soccer team, Nicole Ridenour. She's right outside, waiting to come in, beating down the doors.
Yep.
So we're gonna take a quick break, get her in the studio, get her all set up, and we'll be back in just a few moments with that interview with head coach Nicole Ridenour.
I'm Keith Barnett, head coach of the UCCS women's volleyball team. You're tuned into the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS sports.
radio.uccs.edu. University of Colorado.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, you are tuned in to the Lions Den, the official source for UCCS sports. And joining us live in the studio right now is head coach of the women's soccer team here at UCCS, Nicole Ridenour. Coach Ridenour, thanks for joining us today, straight from the practice field. We really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to come in and talk with us on the Lions Den.
No problem. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, Martin,
Yes.
we saw some games over the weekend.
Yes, we did.
And the women won.
And it was on senior day, and I'm sure, I know that was a tough decision with so many games left in the season I'm sure you were worried about their focus, but they came out and played really well.
I was worried about the focus just because we have 4 away games. I mean, Pueblo they couldn't even imagine that we were hosting a senior day yet this early in the season. But we really wanted to recognize the seniors and kind of celebrate them without having it be a goodbye game or anything like that, and really with the expectation that we'd have another home game and we could do more then or celebrate at the end of the year. So the girls came out maybe a little distracted, but they really regained their focus as the game went on.
Yeah, you guys were trailing early on, but 3 quick goals, I guess. I don't know if they were quick, but
that was a crazy match, I got to tell you, because 17 minutes in, Pueblo scores, and they're up 1-0, which already is kind of mind-boggling because we beat Pueblo 3-0 down in Pueblo not too long ago, and we go into the halftime and we're down 0-1. 0-1, and then we come back in the 63rd minute and we score our first goal, and then in the 66th we score a second goal, and in the 70th minute we scored another goal. Within 8 minutes we scored 3 goals, and all of a sudden we go from 0-1 to 3-1, and Pueblo had no answer for that. I mean, what happened there? Had it 3 goals in 8 minutes? How does that happen?
Well, that's the nice thing about this team is we know we can score, and we know that we're never out of a game, and that's a big difference from maybe some of the other years where we struggled to find the net, or we needed to really take advantage of every chance we got because we wouldn't have as many opportunities. Right, we came out a little slow, and we even have a picture of the corner that the Pueblo team scored on, and we were just behind them. We weren't goal side, we weren't marking properly. And the girls know better than that. And they were just being a little lazy on that mark, and Pueblo took advantage. And you have to respect, any team in the RMAC can come out and take advantage of a situation when given. So we went into halftime, obviously not too happy with being trailing. We prefer to lead. But the girls did well, really got it back together, really started to play our game, which is getting that ball up to the forwards, giving ourselves chances to score. And if we give ourselves chances, we find the net every time. So.
And it was, I'm sure with that lead, it was nice to kind of, not that they were taking it easy, but you guys were in control. You could play good defense. You've had excellent goaltending.
Yes.
And talk about that. I mean, you have
Kelly Schroeder right now second in the RMAC in saves and save percent. She's among the league leaders right now and at that position of goalie. And watching the team last year, to me, that seems like the biggest improvement from last year's team to this year's team is the goalkeeping. Kelly Schroeder has stepped up a lot this season, and every single game, I feel the Mountain Lions are in it because the goalkeeping is that superior. Can you talk a little bit about how she's matured in that role and how she leads from back there?
I think she's really, when we brought her in, we wanted to train her, we wanted to give her more time behind another keeper to get that bearings, but it's really, she's always been talented. It was a mental game for her and finding that discipline and the way she wanted to run the position. Got coaching over the summer separately, coaches that I know and that coach and I are on the same page, that way Kelly's on the same page, and we all see eye to eye. So I'm not expecting something out of her that she can't do or vice versa. Whereas at the same time, she's done a great job of making sure that she has the support, and our defense has done a great job of making it very predictable for her. And that's one of the things that makes our goalkeeper so strong is our defense makes it so predictable that it's not a surprise where it's coming from. And the only goals that we do have on Kelly are the surprise goals, are the corner kicks that's unmarked or something like that. So it's been a great dynamic between our back line, which is a great rotation of 5 different girls, and our goalkeeping. And they have a great dynamic. They expect a lot out of each other, but in turn, you see the result. So,
well, not only the goalkeeping. I mean, that's by far and away one of the strong points of the team, but scoring goals is not a difficult task for the Mountain Lions either. Just this weekend alone, there were 3 potential hat tricks. Yes. We had Agnes almost had a hat trick. We had Hannah Levette almost had a hat trick. We had Ashley Hooper almost had a hat trick. Never been done in the program history, and yet in 2 games we had 3 opportunities for that. So scoring goals is not a problem for the Mountain Lions either. I mean, where do these goals keep coming from? Do these teams not know to defend?
They do know, they do. But that's the nice thing about our team is that we are very dynamic. If you're going to shut down one of our top forwards, well, you have 3 others to contend with. You have our midfield to contend with. So not having one central player who is our top goal scorer, I mean, who are you going to shut down? You have to pick and choose your moments and how you're going to attack us and how you're going to defend us. And that's a nice thing is I see how they are defending us, and we can make an adjustment right then and there and say, okay, hey, they're doing this. Why don't we try this instead? And our girls are really great about really listening to the game plan and trying those different things. That way we still find a way to goal.
I feel like the team is very deep as well because during the game you're making substitutions constantly. How do the practices go? I mean, is it a pretty much even first string versus second string? I mean, it doesn't seem like there's a big discrepancy in those that are coming in off the bench versus those who are starting every week.
No, and I would say that was a big aspect of this in our recruiting and seeing the development of these players. We put a lot of effort into these players in the off season to make sure that they develop. If they're not developing, that's one of our problems, that we don't keep those players around anymore. We don't let them drag down the level of the program. We make sure everybody has to step up. And so at practice, we don't put first string versus second string. We make them play together off everybody. Everybody has to step in, do their job, intermix, and make sure that there is no downfall. There is no slide when the next player comes in. That way, when the starter goes out, she can work her butt off, be exhausted, and rely on that sub to come in and do their job just as well.
It's a well-oiled machine, I tell you that, because you take one out and you plug in another one, and it functions just as well, if not better, because now you got fresh legs coming in, and the skill set is comparable. I mean, it's very similar in that skill set, and you just plug them right in, and they're off and running every time. I mean, it's great.
And I'm sure it's something you want to be humble about, but This program, these are players in the fifth year of the program that you've recruited. You were here from the very beginning. How good does it feel
You
to
did
see
this.
the development of these players and
Yeah.
the level of play that's going on right now?
I think that's huge. I think Martin's on to something there because a lot of coaches, we got some new coaches here on campus and they've inherited the teams
Right.
that they have. But this is your team. You grew this program from the inception 5 seasons ago. All of these players you recruited and you have managed along the way.
For me, it's very rewarding to actually see like all the effort and all the time spent on the pitch with individual players, small groups. Really working on the mentality of the team, the strategy, the standards of the team, and to see them all come together. And now the freshmen coming in don't know any different than what the standard is now. And that's what's great about it is, yes, it took 4 years of work and girls graduating and pushing each other and this and that and really weaning down who we have to the right attitude, right player, right mentality. But now it is a well-oiled machine. They all buy in. They all understand what's expected of them. And for me and Coach Decker, who's been with me the whole time as well, it's very rewarding to see that actually come full term. We have graduating seniors last year. We're going to have a good class this year graduate. And we're very, very proud of these girls. Some of the girls on the team have been working very, very hard since the day they showed up, whether they were redshirted their first year or they're just getting their time this year, their senior year. An example of that is Mackenzie Jenin. She's worked her butt off for 4 years, always as the sub, always a role player. And really, when she had her chance this year, she stepped in and really owned that spot and wanted it. And she worked hard to earn that spot. She worked hard as a sub. She worked hard as a role player. She worked hard on and off the field. And then showed up this year, and ready for that opportunity.
And I had a chance to talk with her father, and he was excited to get to Tony's bar.
Yes.
Afterwards, being from Wisconsin, and he pointed out, which I know you're aware of, three players from Wisconsin. So I guess we like the Packer country out there, I guess. But I know the parents were excited, and I know you're excited for what's happening right now. But you're taking it one game at a time because there are 4 road games coming up.
Yes.
2 of them. I will say that we think.
I'm saying they're a win.
Yes.
I'm predicting a bold win against the 0-10 Cougars of
Yes.
Colorado Christian.
But I mean, these 4 games are crucial
They're
to
tough.
everything that happens for the rest of the season for you guys.
Well, and that's the thing is we keep it very right here, right now. And if you ask my graduated seniors from last year, like I pounded that into their head last year. Like every time I spoke, I was telling them right here, right now. Like stop looking behind, ahead. You got to be here in the moment. And for us, we're not looking ahead to playoffs or anything like that because, like you said, we're on the road for 4 games. It's not our comfy home field or anything like that. We have to go 2 other pitches that are smaller, grass, big, little. Like they're different pitches that we really need to show up and play our game on, regardless of where we're at.
And you were mentioning Colorado Christian and Highlands both, even despite their records. There's some kind of they don't give up against you guys.
No, we have a tendency that every team in the RMAC gets up to play us, and I don't know if that's just the way we feel about it, but we definitely, if we give them an inch, they'll take it, and they'll fight back every time. They come out strong, they come out hard, and they come out expecting to beat us. And I don't know if that's still a mentality just from us being a young program compared to maybe some of them, or just the mentality in general. So we want to make sure that we take care of business, we get out there, play our game right off the bat. It's one of those things where if you can take the fight out of the dog, it's a lot easier to win. So we need to come out and really take care of business against the CCU and the New Mexico Highlands, especially being away from home.
Yeah, as big as these games are, because you might not be thinking postseason right now or looking forward to it, but here on the Lions Den, Martin and I, we're thinking postseason, and we're looking at postseason. And so right now, again, a 3-way tie at the moment for first place. The Mountain Lions are in that 3-way tie, and a great opportunity to host the playoff game. You've made it to the playoffs in seasons prior. In fact, the first season in the program, you made it to the playoffs. So how would that feel? What kind of gratification would there be to not only make the playoffs, but to have a home playoff game. I mean, because the record at home, you've only lost one game all season at home. So clearly there's an advantage here to playing at Mountain Lion Stadium. So how important is that to get that home field advantage in the playoffs?
And maybe get a good crowd out there, huh?
Yeah, no, we've had a great crowd, a great following. The parents have been great. We've had fans. We had alumni. You know, we love our home field. We love sleeping in our own beds, getting up, having our routine, our training room, knowing exactly where and when we're supposed to be, and having our home fans there, you know, is great. And for me as a coach, this would be it's going to be a huge progress again. It's the progress, because us on the road, the first year we made playoffs, we had to travel to Fort Lewis. That's not a small trip, you know, and it's not a small trip, but you have to travel everybody, you have to find out meals, bed, everything, what's going to work best for you, how are you going to get up and be awake to play that game. You know, so for us, if we could host a game or, you know, do well enough to get a bye, that puts us back into our normal routine, which that's where ultimately as a coach, I try and set up the team as best as I can to put them in their normal routine, to put them in their comfort zone so they just get to do what they do. My job is to worry about the other factors, so their job is to be there, show up, play well.
And do you think maybe if you have some success at home during a playoff game, we can get the Chancellor to come out and do another flash mob or something like that?
Yeah, I would love it, because we missed the first one. We were getting ready for our game, so we were off on another field trying to stretch out and everything, not even knowing that it was going on. So that would be awesome. We would love that, and we've loved the support that the administration here on UCCS has given us as well. You know, we've seen Vice Chancellor Barnett, the Chancellor herself, you know, be out at our games and really cheering us on and supporting us and saying hello after the game and everything like that. So the girls notice it. Everybody notices it. We love the support, and
you've got
we'll keep
us
fighting for it.
You know, bugging you after the games, asking for quotes. So they've got to love that attention too.
Yeah, no, they you know, girls, they're not going to turn away from a good interview. You know?
Sure,
so,
why not? And Jenna Gist, I gotta say, lots of energy out there. Her and Ashley Hooper, just a great tandem, great seniors. Wonderful to talk to both of them, and we were really appreciative that they came on the show, and we hope that you will be able to come back and talk with us along with some of the players. We would love to have you guys in, especially you know, we know it's easier to talk to you when you keep winning, so keep winning.
We're working on that.
I got another question for you really quickly before we let you go. I'm just curious, what's in the water here at UCCS? Because not only is the women's soccer team doing well, I mean, the best season in history, already they have more wins in the women's soccer program this season than of any other season in history, and there's still 4 games left. So the women's soccer doing phenomenal, but every sport right now is doing great across the board. Can you give us some insight as a coach here? What is it? What's the mentality? I mean, what has changed? What are they drinking right now that's getting all these teams doing so well?
I think the mentality, I don't think there's been a big change. I just think the mentality of, like, the coaches supporting each other, helping each other, and, like, say we have a situation, we're not isolated, we're not on our own. I can go and talk to the AD, I can go talk to Keith Barnett, I can go talk to any other coach and say, hey, you know, like, this is how we work things out. And it's very much so that we can use each other's coaching experiences to help one another out. And it's just a mentality that we expect to win. We're building for a reason. We're not just here. We're building for a reason. We expect to win. We expect the programs to win, and we really expect that out of each other. So, I mean, not only is Director Kirkham pushing and saying, you know, we need to take the next step. As athletes, as coaches, as admin, coaches are holding each other to that standard as well. Like, if we're working our butts off, we're doing all this sort of thing, like, we expect to win, and we expect the same out of the other programs.
Yeah. Do you ever pop into Coach Scott Peterson's office? He is a firecracker.
He is a firecracker, yes. He's a great energy to have.
Every time I walk into the athletic offices, and, you know, I have to pop in and see him, and, you know, he's fun to have around. It doesn't hurt to I think his son owns some Jimmy John's, so we see Jimmy John's at the basketball games. So
I love it.
Yes,
love those Jimmy John sandwiches.
Yes.